The August 21st, 2013 meeting of the Environmental Public Works Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ansello is excused. Mr. Antelli? Here. Mr. Colby is excused. Chairman Daniele?
Here.
Mr. Haney? Here. Mr. Wilcox? Here. Mr. Yolovich? Here. President Adair? Here.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum this evening?
There is not.
Is there anyone present who did not sign up who would like to address the committee at this time? No? Well, we do have a guest here tonight, even though he doesn't want to address the committee, but we have Jim McIntosh, who is the City of Rochester engineer, and he is here this evening in support of item number 250, which we will get to in just a moment. Welcome. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. You have before you the July 31st, 2013 minutes of the Environmental Public Works Committee. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business.
Referral 13-250, amend the 2013...
Moved by Legislator Adair, President, seconded by Legislator Yolovich. Any discussion? Any questions? No? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 13-251, authorized...
Moved by Legislator Yolovich, seconded by Legislator Antelli. Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Mr. Chairman, could someone just inform us as to what the engineers' estimates were before the bidding?
Did you catch that?
Through the chair, I believe so. What were the engineers' estimates?
Right.
The question before the bid. The bids came in total in aggregate through the chair about 6% below the engineer's estimate.
Okay. So in the aggregate, the bids were a few $100,000 below the, I guess that would be right.
Through the chair, that is correct.
Okay. And I assume these, through the chair, I assume these estimates are made before the bidding and back some point.
Through the chair, that is correct.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 13-253,
moved by Legislator Antelli, seconded by Legislator Adair. Any discussion? Legislator Haney. Same question.
What's the question?
What were the engineers' estimates?
Through the chair, $866,057.
Okay. So they're coming in at almost 100, about 85,000 under the estimate. Also through the chair, the aggregate cost of the project apparently is going up about 20%. Why is that? What's driving that?
No, through
Answer before the ledge meeting.
through the chair, just to clarify the question, though, 20% meaning because the capital fund is being increased
the capital fund's
by 20%.
Right.
Through the chair, the FAA was not prepared to offer any discretionary funding when I met with them in February of this year. And the anticipated entitlement funding was not going to cover the cost of this project. The fact that the FAA has found discretionary dollars that will cover 90% of the cost of this project, and that we will be getting an entitlement grant for over $400,000 to do this, put us in a position now that we could complete the project in this calendar year using that found discretionary grant funding. The increase has mainly to do with the fact that the project was costed in 2011 and probably before then, and now in 2013, that's where we are. The increase in this increase has to do with flexibility only. Our estimated cost for the total project is $1,174,000. That's the best answer I can give at this time for the increased funding, but the bottom line is the total FAA grant that we will receive in this calendar year and this fiscal year will be $915,000 to cover the project.
Is this an acceleration of the project, that something we anticipated doing in future years with federal money is now being done this year? Is that?
Through the chair, it was anticipated that we would be able to do this project if the funding were, it's in our capital improvement program. It was anticipated to be done at any time from 2012 on. It was grim earlier this year as far as FAA grant funding, but because this airport was ready to have projects ready to go and have the engineering was already done, and the FAA went through its priorities, and we came out on top of that because we were ready to do the project.
Through the chair, I may be missing something, but I don't understand why the increase in federal funding or the acceleration of federal funding requires us to increase the capital budget.
Through the chair, they aren't necessarily related with one another, but this project did not come within our entitlement budget for federal grant funding, which is about $4.5 million.
Right.
So we were not anticipating, we did not re-estimate the costs or put this project out to bid because it was number 3, actually it was number 3 on the list, and we only thought that we were going to get 1 and 2, that being a new fire truck, and number 2 being the EMOS, the arrested material arresting system, the emergency material arresting system, the EMOS project. So when the FAA came available and then we put the numbers back together and the FAA grant funding became available to us, the new cost was $1,174,000 projected. That's with that's with everything included, the design, construction, internal costs, and other estimated costs. And in order to give ourselves flexibility, we request that the capital fund be increased.
But through the chair, is the real reason for the increase in the number for the capital budget the difference in the cost levels since 2011? Is that what's driving? I don't see why the federal funding should be driving an increase in the capital budget.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. The airport director did say that costs have gone up. They was originally cost in 2010, and now it's 2013, and that's part of the reason for the increase. He said that 5 minutes ago.
Right, and I'm just trying to verify that that is the reason for the extra $200,000.
Through the chair, it is the reason it was
Okay,
costed
thank you.
in prior years.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Item carries. I would, for the record, since we have the city engineer here, Mr. McIntosh, your city is beeping outside, so if you could fix that, that'd be great. Chair would also like to recognize the Assistant County Executive, Jerry Helfer.
Wanted to have Mr. Garland make a clarification or correction to something he said earlier regarding referral number 251.
Yes.
Through the chair, I was looking at the last referral when I referred to the engineer's estimate. For a referral 251, the Central Gates Pump Station Improvement Project, the bids for that project came in 11% over the engineer's estimate. The bid amount was, in aggregate, $2.48 million. The difference is roughly $254,000.
This one, the bids exceed the engineer's estimate by 11%?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Do we know why?
Through the chair, it's not uncommon that we have engineers' estimates that don't meet the bid conditions. We had competitive bids, as you can see, from known contractors who do work in pure waters. I would attribute it to an estimate that wasn't entirely accurate. The work is complex. It's very sophisticated work, and it can be at times challenging to estimate the work, but I can say it is within budget.
Given that there's a change in information, Legislator Haney, do you wish to take a revote on that? Okay, thank you. Next item.
Referral 13-254, authorized contracts.
Moved by President Adair, seconded by Legislator Yolovich. Any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Same question?
Through the chair, as I referred to earlier, this project came in 6% below the engineer's estimate.
Okay,
Through the chair, that is
thank
correct.
you.
Any other discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Mr. McIntosh, thank you. Quick work. Nice job. Are there any other matters to come before the committee at this time? There being no other matters, the August 21st, 2013 meeting of the Environmental Public Works Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting will be held September 18, 2013 at 5 p.m.